Hey everybody, welcome to episode 39 of the return policy, and today I'm doing a hopefully mini review, but it might be longer than a mini review, but a mini review nonetheless of the PDP designed, officially licensed 3-in-1 folio case for your Nintendo Switch. So in the meantime, while I'm working on some other future reviews, I'm roaming around Amazon.com looking for some certain impulse purchases that catches my eye, and I came across the PDP 3-in-1 folio. And so since I'm a fan of their accessories lately for the Nintendo Switch, I thought I'd give this one a shot. And also more impulsively, that the cost was very low and discounted on Amazon. It actually went for $6.99, which in that case I couldn't resist. I had to try it, give it a shot, and hopefully give a decent review. So here's the PDP 3-in-1 folio case for the Nintendo Switch, and I really couldn't resist when I saw it online for that price, and it had that kind of cool looking faux leather design, and I was kind of intrigued. What is this 3-in-1 that they speak of? And I even found a few videos in the past that actually gave this some pretty decent praise. Granted, those videos are probably a year old now, since that's probably the time when the Switch was released. But I couldn't resist, so I had to try it out for myself. And so you can tell that it has this kind of flap and the vents, so definitely lets plug in all your ports. It has a pretty snazzy container that holds for the Switch itself. It protects the screen, and also it protects the face buttons and the joystick as well. And so the biggest thing that I wanted to try out was, is this really as protective, or is this as practical if you want to take this thing for travel? And so I love the way it actually protects the buttons and the stick as well too. And so the next feature that it added was, since you can fold those little protectors for the stick and the buttons, it allows you to use these little grooves on the other side for a stand. And so there's 3 different levels of those stands, and so it could be a little bit slippery at first, but it definitely holds without violently shaking it or knocking it over. But it does hold, and it still keeps it pretty safe. One thing I did notice is once I popped it into the case was that it adds a bit of heft. That kind of faux leather, it does it is kind of heavy. So if you're used to carrying a pretty light weighing Switch with you, this one does add a little bit more heft to it. And so one of the biggest things I wanted to try out, and it's more of an indulgence for myself, is that once you put on the case, you'll notice that there is no protection for the opposite sides of the Joy-Cons. And so here comes in the 3 different grip style cases for the Joy-Cons that I have accumulated or amassed over this past year. And so I wanted to try out the Orzly kind of the booty bump style grips that I've had, and the PDP also branded armor guards that I favor. And also, and third, the Nyko Swivel Grips that I recently did a review on. And so I kind of wanted to try all 3 of them and test them out and see what it's like to use this alongside the PDP 3-in-1 folio. So the first one I tried was the Nyko Swivel Grips, which is kind of cool. It adds definitely a lot more bulk to the case, or to the Switch, all in all. But if you wanted to use it as tabletop mode, you could slide those all out and use these swivel grips in order to create a mini experience, console experience. And lo and behold, of course, the swivel grips do pop out when not clasped correctly. Just an FYI. Next up, I wanted to try out the PDP Armor Guards, and you'll notice right from the start, it looks like they designed these hand in hand because they look pretty snazzy when together. And so when you're plugging them in and using them, yeah, it looks like this now looks like a complete case to use. And finally, the one I wanted to try out was the Orzly booty bump case, and this is more for fun. I still like the feel of the Orzly Joy-Con grips, as loud and bright as they are. They still feel good, and does complement the PDP Folio case as well too. So all in all, I just wanted to try these three out. That was really the main intention of getting the PDP 3-in-1 case, and because I had all these Joy-Con grips, and I wanted to bring all these out and test it and see if they work well with this 3-in-1 case. And in particular, the PDP Armor Guards did work best. And as far as utility, the Nyko Swivel Grips was useful. You can get those things to stay on without falling apart. And the Orzly other grips, the gel grips, those really felt good. But yeah, they were a little bit too loud. And in contrast to the PDP 3-in-1 Folio. So after all that's said and done, I am a huge fan of this case, as impulse purchasey as it was for roughly $7 US. I really do think it's a pretty good case. Some of the downsides is if you don't have any of these kind of grip accessories, whether it be the more appropriate PDP branded or even the Nyko branded ones, without this kind of case, it's still protective, but at the same time, you're not really getting as much protection or as much convenience and comfort without using, say, a separate grip for the Joy-Cons themselves. And since there are a lot of cases that still combine both, I really did like the gimmick and the functionality of the 3-in-1 Folio that allows you to protect the Joy-Cons, protect the screen, at the same time creating a mini stand for your portable-ish console. And so at least you get the most out of this kind of 3-in-1, and I do like it. And at the same time, it was totally an impulse purchase, and if anybody's still looking to purchase this as a true case for their Nintendo Switch, it still kind of pains me to think that this might not be totally worth it compared to, see, the other accessories, protective accessories that I've reviewed in the past. So very reluctantly, I'd have to say that the PDP 3-in-1 Folio case for the Nintendo Switch is a return it. And as sad as that is to say, for that price, it's still good. For the gimmick and functionality, it's still good. But as far as the more competitive environment of decent grip cases, carrying cases, and all these different protective type of things for your Nintendo Switch, there are in reality better options out there. If you do choose this one, I do applaud you, and it's really cool. But all in all, yeah, I do have to say that it is a return it. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you so much again for taking the time to watch these mini reviews I'm making. Like I mentioned very beginning into the episode, I do have some future reviews that are in the making and still in process. But without a doubt, I just want to say thank you again for taking the time to watch. If you thought this video or any of these mini reviews have been helpful in any way or informative, go ahead and hit that like button. If you saw this online and you skipped it, I don't blame you. Although, still kind of cool. Go ahead and hit that dislike button as well. That's fine. Otherwise, I do still plan to stick around for that semi-long run to make as many of these mini reviews as I can. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That's greatly appreciated. Anyways, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.